Hello and welcome back to In the Kitchen with Matt. I am your host, Matt Taylor. Today, I'm going to show you how to make gingerbread men or gingerbread cookies. Yummy! 'Tis the season for gingerbread men. As a little kid, I remember growing up making these cookies with my mom around the holidays. They're really fun, really easy to do. If I can do it, you can do it. Let's get baking. All right, first of all, let's go ahead and start with our softened butter, and if you forget to take it out of the fridge, just go ahead and put it in the microwave and soften it up a little bit. You can use defrost mode and just soften it up. You don't want to melt it completely, but it's okay if it gets a little melted. And that was 6 tablespoons of butter. Then we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of dark brown sugar, and we want to go ahead and blend these with a hand mixer, or if you have a stand mixer, go ahead and do that. And then we'll go ahead and come in here and scrape the sides once. Now let's go ahead and add in our vanilla extract. And that's 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Let's add in 1 egg. And let's blend that together. All right, like so. And also down below in the description, you will find all these ingredients and their amounts. Now let's add in 1/2 cup of molasses. If you don't have molasses, you can substitute it with an equal amount of maple syrup, okay? And it's a pretty good substitute. It's not an exact substitute, but it works pretty well. And mix. Okay, great, we'll set this aside. And now we have 3 cups of all-purpose flour, and we want to add all of our dry ingredients to it. Our 1 tablespoon of ginger, 1½ teaspoons of baking powder, 3/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, table salt, 1/4 teaspoon of cloves, ground cloves, and 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. And then with a whisk, just come in here and let's just whisk this all together. All right, once that's mixed, we'll set this aside. We'll bring back our other mixture here. And now we're going to start to incorporate our flour. Now don't just dump it all in. We're going to add it a bit at a time. And if you're using a stand mixer, you might switch to the paddle attachment, because this is going to get pretty thick. And then eventually I will switch over to my wooden spoon. So I'm just going to add in about that much. That's probably a cup worth. And then throughout this process, you will be wanting to scrape the sides. Okay, once it gets to this stage, it's a little hard to use the hand mixer, so I'm going to switch over to my wooden spoon. This is one occasion where a stand mixer with a paddle attachment comes in really handy, but not everyone has one, so you can certainly do it this way. And I'm also going to scrape down our sides one more time. And now the rest of the flour mixture, I am going to go ahead and just incorporate it little bit by little with a wooden spoon. It'll be a little bit harder to mix. But don't try to use your hand mixer because it's way too thick. Another thing you might want to do is make sure your hands are clean, and then come in here and we're just going to kind of knead the rest of this flour in there. And it's going to be a nice, soft cookie dough. It's pretty awesome, okay? And we want to kind of bring it all together, and you can dump this out on your surface. A little bit of flour there. And let's bring all of our dough together and knead it just a little bit. All right, and then at this stage, I'm just going to kind of divide it in half. Makes it a little easier to work with. And then we'll just keep shaping it until we get like a disc like this. Take some plastic wrap. And cover it up. And then we're gonna chill. So we'll do this with this other bit. And then we're gonna chill these in the refrigerator for about 2 to 3 hours. All right, and then we take our dough out of the fridge. And you're gonna want to use some flour. On the surface, whatever surface you're using. Depending on the surface, it might stick more than others, like a wood surface. It might stick more. Let's go ahead and get the top. Flour your rolling pin. And then we want to roll out our dough. And if you need to peel it apart, let's go ahead and do that. I've also seen people like stuff the dough in between two things of parchment paper. And sometimes little pieces might fall off, and just go ahead and stick them back on. So about 1/4 of an inch thick is what we want. And I forgot to mention, preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 190 Celsius. Okay, great. So about like that. And then go ahead and use your cookie cutter, whatever you want to use. I'm going to use a gingerbread man, of course. Let's go ahead and just cut them in there. Like so. And we'll go ahead and place them on our cookie sheet. I have a cookie sheet here with a artisan mat or silicone mat. You can use parchment paper. All right, let's get some more of these guys going. Oh yeah, and you space them about 1 inch, 1.5 inches apart. And this little guy can go right in the middle there. And then what you do with the rest of the dough is just go ahead and bring it all together and knead it with your hands a little bit. And then we're gonna roll it out some more. All right, and then when we have our cookies ready, let's go ahead and bake them in the oven, preheated oven, 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 7 to 10 minutes. And these little ones, if they're different sizes on there, typically you want them all to be the same size. They might come off a little sooner. So I'm gonna put them on, start at 7 minutes, and then go from there. If you want them to be more crunchy, go closer to 10 minutes. If you want them to be more soft, closer to 7 minutes. And then when they come out of the oven, they'll look like this. They'll be a little bit darker brown on the edges, and they'll be a little bit hard to the touch. Okay? And just go ahead and let them cool for a few minutes. And then what you can do is after they've cooled, you should be able to just pick them up. They might be a little bit warm still, and put them on a cookie rack to cool completely. And again, if you want your cookies to be more soft, just bake them a little bit less. And you can experiment with the bake times for your particular oven. And this recipe makes loads and loads of cookies depending on the size you make. Like the little small gingerbread man, I made tons and tons of them. And to decorate them, totally up to you how you want to decorate them. You could use like a black icing in a tube. You could use a writing gel, whatever color that you want. I have all these different little things that you might put on cupcakes. You could also put on here as well. Pretty cool. Or you could just take some frosting, whatever color you want, in a piping bag. And I'm gonna go in here and one eye, 2 eyes, a mouth, and then because I like red hots, boom, and there you go. So just go ahead and decorate them however you like. All right, our gingerbread man, our gingerbread cookies are done. Turned out fantastic, really easy to do. A couple tips if you want them to be more soft. I would recommend just baking them for about 7 minutes, and then right when they come out of the oven, take them off of the pan and put them on your cookie rack right away. Otherwise they keep baking and they get more hard. It's okay if you want them to be crunchy, then you can bake them for 7.5, 8 minutes, 9 minutes, and they'll be nice and crunchy. All right, there you go. I'm Matt Taylor. This has been another episode of In the Kitchen with Matt. Thank you for joining me. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or requests, put them down below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thumbs up, down the corner, push it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos. Take care. Time for me to dive into one of these. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna grab this guy on top right here.